In this section, we will talk about the meanings and different types of SQL injection attacks. So let's start with its meaning. SQL injection attacks are a type of flaw in the code of websites and web apps that allow cyber attackers to hijack back-end processes and extract, delete confidential information from the database, right? As we know, SQL is a program to store the database, so this injection attack is named after the SQL injection attack, right? 27.8% of applications have SQL injection vulnerability on initial scan. So these are the types of SQL injection attacks. First one is error-based SQL injection attack, where we get a information about the SQL database from an error in the website. Then it's union based, then it's blind SQL injection, where we don't know what exactly is happening on the back end as there is no error. So blind SQL injection is further divided into two categories, which is Boolean based and time based. We will see the practicals of all these types of SQL injection attacks in the further lectures. Thank you. This is a lab of SQL injection attack, where we can do the SQL injection to retrieve a lot of information from this web page. As you can see onto this web page, when I choose all, there are 4 3 12 items onto this all column, and when I go to food and drinks, it shows me 3. See, if any one of you are aware about SQL, it responds to where queries. Let's say when I click on all, it would say select star where category is all and blah blah product ID, right? So when we will intercept this response saying food and drinks, so it acts on the motive that it wants to get the filter of category food plus drinks. So for doing the SQL injection, we want to interrupt this. When I entered a backslash, it would get interrupted. See, it would get interrupted because the SQL injection, like the SQL query, didn't allowed it to perform. Let's do it once again. To perform the SQL injection, what we need to do is we need to add a query saying colon single colon plus or plus 1 is equal to 1, and when we put these two dashes, it turns a statement to always true, right? When we forward this, and everything we see we forward, right? So on clicking food and drinks, we can see the product of each and every category. By doing this, you have earlier seen there were only 12 items, see, and now there are 4 and yeah 20 items. So you retrieve the items which were not publicly available onto this web platform, but by doing the SQL injection, you made the server believe that you have to show all the items. Whether the statement is true and false, it doesn't matter. When we write 1 is equal to 1, it automatically implies the statement is true, and when we put these columns, it ignores the other queries after this statement. So this is an example of SQL injection where we can retrieve the items from the server by exploiting SQL. Hope you understand. So in this practical, we will do a SQL injection union attack to retrieve the data from other tables by using SQL queries. The SQL works in a way, let's say select star from accessories where product name is this, price this, and it shows us all the details. This is the way SQL works. So there are different columns under a product category. Let's say accessories has one table, clothing, shoes, accessories have other table, and there might be something which is not listed here, and we want to retrieve the content of that table without even knowing what the table is about. So how we can do this? We can do this by using SQL injection. So we will attack the category filter and we will add this command which says union select null, that ignoring the value what it is, you have to select everything which comes in your way in a very simple sense. We'll click on forward and wait for things to error. So it says an internal server error. That means the command we give to this website is not appropriate. Now what we will do is we will skip one value. So what we will do, we will add one more null value into this payload to see, this is a union based attack, to see whether it can retrieve after providing one more null value. We clicked on forward, it again says an internal server error. We go back to the home, and what we need to do is, let me choose a column of it. I am on to this particular column. What I need to do is, I would, let's say, delete this and add this payload. Forward, still the internal server error keeps on coming. So for explaining you how things work, I would go on to the solution part. Okay, so it says use Burp suite to intercept and modify the product category filter. Yeah, we did that. Modify the category parameter, giving it to the value this, we did that. Observe that an error occurs. Yeah, as you have seen, there are internal server error. So modify the category parameter to add an additional column containing a null value, right? Continue adding null values until the error disappears and the response includes additional content containing the null values. Now let me explain the meaning of this. We are basically hopping. We are hopping from column to column to search for things. Now how we can automate this process is, let me show you how. Take this to intruder, got it? Take this to intruder, and you have to add the payloads after this. So click on add, see, click on add and add your payloads. First, it is a simple one, click on add. You want to add another payload, add. You can automate this process like we did in the accesses thing. Okay, add everything, keep adding the columns till it stops displaying the error. Okay, you have to follow the exact same steps. Let me craft some more responses for you guys to well understand this. One more we will create, and we are hopping from column to column for the SQL injection to run, right? We are done with 5 things. So what I would do is, I would click on start attack. So let's see what error it gave us. It gave us a protocol error, a protocol error, a protocol error, a protocol error. That means we can't intrude this thing. So we have to manually test for everything. So let's do it. Let me intercept this. Let me intercept it. Right. So we will add after this manually. Let's say we have crafted this response. We will click on forward. It says an error. Okay. We have to keep doing this thing for things to work. Now we have tried it 1 time, 2 times, 4 times. So let's test it 3 times. Because only third time is left. Click on forward, and yeah, you can see the hack worked. Let me turn it off, and yeah, it's solved. Now let me show you how it worked. We are able to retrieve the contents of other table which were not a part of this thing. So this is how you do a union based SQL injection. You have to hop from column to column because you don't know what column name it exactly opts for. Hope you understand. See you in the next lecture.